Feels so good to be back here, even though we're not like back here. I'm just here to pick something up, but just, man, it feels like it's been forever. I mean, it's been a couple of months, so technically it has been forever, but man, I miss it here. Soon. I am really excited about tonight. I've been planning and thinking about this night for many weeks and months and even years, and I'm excited to finally make it happen. But I have a lot to do between then and now. Okay, lots of stuff happening. I got 2 iPads, 2 computers, setting them all up so that they can work efficiently and the best way possible. I think I have everything I need. I gotta make sure that I'm ready to roll.
Yeah, okay, so basically 2 C200s locked. Are we using this? What is it?
Yeah.
And then these will be all manned.
My thought was like, because everything we're gonna be using all the tripods,
Yeah.
it makes more sense if we're gonna go handheld. I mean, we can use the C200s, but the 85 has great stabilization, but like the other main stabilized lens is a 70-200, which is not gonna be ideal. That it'd be better to use the GH5s handheld because they look amazing, like locked down. Bobby's gonna be at the Nord. Alice is gonna be right here. Ali is gonna be right here singing.
Okay.
So here's a quick look at the church where we actually filmed, which was a buddy of mine. He is a worship leader at that church, so we decided to do it at the church. And I decided that we should do it off of the actual main stage where they normally have their worship and their sermon. So we decided to set everything up in the dead center of kind of the room. They had this little cutout area that was between the pews, so it worked really well. The good thing is the light was actually pretty consistent later on in the night. So even though it's very bright during the day here as we're setting up, once it got nighttime, we were able to kind of not have too much light in there. We shut all the lights off inside and we just used our lighting setup, which was basically just 4 LEDs, big LED squares in the different angles, so that everyone was kind of very evenly lit. We didn't do any sort of haze or any sort of crazy lighting, and we just had a bunch of LEDs, as you see, that are like behind the post and different things in the shot. So it actually worked out pretty well, but nothing crazy. We just wanted it to look clean, nothing too distracting and nothing too extravagant, because we obviously didn't have all day and didn't have unlimited type of gear to set up. So it worked really well though. We were pretty happy with it.
Okay.
The adapter that we had going to the Mac Mini.
Praise a hallelujah. I'm just gonna end in the F and just kind of, just be there. And I'm probably just gonna vamp on the F. And then I'm gonna go into. It's nothing like Martin's, bro.
Alright, so the next part.
And then it changed. Let me look like I'm surrounded.
Or just 4-finger swipe left to right on your entire trackpad and the whole thing. 4 fingers. All 4 fingers. That's 3 fingers, isn't it? There you go. Not so aggressive.
We need to have like a MacBook training day.
Check. Check 1, 2. Check. Check 1, 2.
Sorry, there's a lot of presents.
Such a nice guitar. Oh my gosh.
So the worship night came together really good. We were there a lot later than we planned because we had some technical difficulties early in the night during setup, and we had to kind of rearrange a couple things, and so it took a little longer than expected, but overall I thought it was a really great night. Learned a lot of things. I'm one of those people that always learns from different things and realizes what to do and what not to do next time, so I'm excited to even do another one sooner than later. But now I'm just importing all the footage, and as I import, I am getting ready to do the actual mixing for the entire night, which is a tricky thing because when you do a 1-song mix, it's simple because you can get all your settings down and for each instrument, each vocal, and it always works for that entire part of the song because the song is just 1 song. When you're building a worship set, it's a lot different because the whole thing has so many dynamics, and there's people that are the lead on some songs, and then people that are the harmony on others, and then there's people that
were playing the main instruments, and then now they're playing the secondary instruments, and so you're kind of doing a lot of different mixing in real time. But I love it. It's kind of one of my favorite parts actually, is mixing and audio and all that, as you know. So let's dive into it. So as you were watching this time lapse of me editing, just a couple of tech details for those who are interested. I mixed this entire thing in Logic. I typically use Logic or Studio One as my main DAW for mixing, but I chose Logic on this one because that's what we actually tracked it in, so I figured I'd just keep it there. But I use a ton of plugins from Universal Audio. I use an Apollo X4 as my main interface, and as you can see, lots of automation. So I'm mixing a ton in real time for automation. Well, yesterday I got a chance to do almost all of the mixing, spent about 7 or 8 hours doing all the mixing for the audio, so I would say it's pretty close to being complete. But what I usually do from that point now is I'm going to bring in the rough audio mix of the entire thing and cut all the video to it, and then once I have all the video cut perfectly to it and what cameras I'm using when, I'm going to cut the video back into Logic and actually mix my final mix with all volume adjustments and minor little things while I'm watching the video in real time. That way I can really get a feel for like what you're seeing on screen, because I think the big thing about music live type of production like this is the fact that when you are mixing audio, it's important to know what's actually going to be on the screen when that's happening. Because if I have a great shot of keys, for example, but at that specific part you really hear something that's keys based, but that's not necessarily the person that was playing it, or maybe someone's singing and they're not the ones on the screen, it might cause you to do a little bit of differences in terms of audio mixing when you're seeing the final thing. So we have 6 cameras to mix, 3 that were tight and fixed, and then the other 3 that were kind of moving around at various times. So I'm excited to dive right into this, and let's go for it. So in terms of gear that we use from a camera perspective, we had 2 C200s that were basically locked down on a tripod, so no one was operating them at all, and that was stationary on me and stationary on Josh, who was also singing and playing. And then there were 3 GH5s that were all handheld, which would just kind of be picking up different things throughout the entire night. And then we had 1 wide shot, which, looking back, the wide shot was probably not a great decision that we made, because a lot of times that shot ended up being blocked, but it is what it is. But we did have lots of flexibility in our shots, obviously, because of the different angles. There were a couple of things we learned in terms of making sure the cameraman knew who was actually leading the songs more in advance. Would have been a better technique next time, but you know, you live and learn, so we learned. So after I exported the final video, which was completely finished in Final Cut, I then bring it into Logic and I do my very final mix, where I'm doing all the last second changes as I'm watching the video in real time, and I'm mixing to what you're watching, and then it is complete. Oh yeah. And we are bouncing the final mix. I'm so excited. I love how it came out. It's been really fun to kind of mix this over the last 3 days. A lot of work goes into the mixing. Bouncing is like exporting in the Final Cut world. And yeah, we're making progress. So the mix is entirely done. Now I will bring the final mix into Final Cut, and I will make all the final cuts. No pun intended. I'll make the final cuts for those things, all the right cameras at the right time, and make any last minute adjustments. And then we'll be done. We will be done. It's Thursday afternoon, filmed it Monday night, worked all day Tuesday, all day Wednesday, and I'll be working most of the day today on the final stuff, and then we'll be there. All right, it is Friday. It is hopefully what will be premiere night, where I will post the actual worship night on YouTube tonight, so I'm excited about that. But all I have left to do is go through and just do the final color on everything. All the camera shots have been cut correctly, all the audio has been cut correctly and edited however we would decide to do it. Now I'm going to go through and do the final color, and then I'm going to do one entire watch through just to make sure that nothing's sticking out as odd or that doesn't match or whatever it is. So that's what we have left to do. Only a couple of hours left.
His favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family and your children and their children and their children. May His favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family and your children and your children and their children. May His presence go before you and behind you. beside you, all around you, and within you. He is with you, He is with you. In the morning, in the evening, and you're coming, and you're going, and you're weeping and rejoicing. He is for you, He is for you, He is for you, He is for you. 'Cause I'm gonna see a victory, I'm gonna see a victory, for the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory, I'm gonna see a victory, for the battle belongs to you, Lord. 'Cause you take what the enemy meant for evil, and you turn it for good. You turn it for good.
'Cause your light is a light that the shadows can't deny, and your light cannot be overcome. And your light is a light forever lifted high, and your light cannot be overcome. Oh Jesus, Jesus, you make the darkness tremble. Jesus, Jesus, you silence fear. Oh Jesus.
I raise a hallelujah with everything inside of me. I raise a hallelujah. I will watch the darkness flee. Oh, I raise a hallelujah in the middle of the mystery. I raise a